The name Perkins carved in stone. Below a Gothic tower, a boy navigates with a cane. Perkins, in collaboration with the National Organization for Albinism and Hypopigmentation, presents Including Students with Albinism with Susan Dalton.
In the United States, 1 in 17,000 people have albinism. And I think what's interesting too is 1 out of every 100 people is a carrier of the gene.
We see a woman with albinism walking down a busy sidewalk on a sunny day. The woman wears a wide brim hat and sunglasses.
One of the first things is that a teacher who is new to having a student with albinism in their classroom is to just become educated on the condition, look it up, but to also become comfortable with the terminology. The term we would want to avoid is referring to the student as an albino. The student should be referred to as a child with albinism, and the condition is albinism. Sometimes you have to use that term albino to explain it to other people so they understand it. So it doesn't hurt to use it in a way that explains it a little better. And I found that being helpful. And then it also can be that the child or even the family, some may not be as sensitive about the term albino as others, but for a teacher to be an example and to use the correct terms in front of the kids, and that will just help the child's adjustment to the classroom as well.
The camera pans from right to left in a classroom, and we see the students at their desks. The shot settles on a young girl with albinism who has an open book and a worksheet on her desk.
Probably the best thing is to do as much as possible your best job of not having the child stand out. They're going to be standing out regardless, but what I like to tell the kids, or even as they get older too, I says you're going to be noticed whether you like it or not. The whiteness tends to attract attention, and even just to use that to your best advantage, it's better. But I just find too, if you approach it from a learning perspective, if you talk about talk about how the kids are different, talk about kids' hair color, how people are different, and then just make that another part of the differences that everybody else has. We can go in and explain it a little more detail. I think sometimes it comes into play if the kids see a child's parents, and the parents are normally pigmented and they don't really look like the parents. Then you can talk about it in more detail, and it depends on the age of the children too.
Fade to black.